They said the girl talks to dogs, like they understand her.
Ethan Cole woke up at 5 a.m. because his brain wouldn't let him sleep past that anymore. 30 years as an investigative journalist does that to you. Ruins your sleep schedule, ruins your trust in people, ruins your ability to see a 6-year-old girl walking 5 German shepherds and think that's cute instead of what the hell is going on here.
They saved me.
He'd moved to Maple
Now
Street
I'll
3
save
days
them.
ago. Retired. Done. No more stories. No more late nights chasing leads. No more putting himself in danger for a headline nobody would remember in a week. That lasted exactly 72 hours. Because on day 4, he saw Emma. 7 a.m. Sharp. Like clockwork. 5 German shepherds moving in formation down the street. And in the center, holding 5 leashes in hands that looked too small to hold anything, was a little girl in a pink coat. Ethan stood on his porch with coffee going cold in his hand. The dogs moved like soldiers. 1 in front, 2 on the sides, 1 in back. And 1, a massive black and tan shepherd with a torn ear, stayed glued to the girl's hip. She didn't speak, didn't smile, just walked. And the dogs obeyed her like she was the only voice that mattered in the entire world. Ethan pulled out his phone, took a picture, stared at it, deleted it. Not your problem. But his hands were already shaking. Because in 30 years of reporting, he'd learned one thing: when something looks wrong, it usually is. Margaret Finch lived 2 doors down and had lived on Maple Street since dirt was invented. Ethan knocked on her door the next morning. Mrs. Finch. She opened the door with a cane in one hand and suspicion in her eyes. You're the new guy. Ethan Cole. I just moved in and... You want to know about the girl with the dogs? Ethan blinked. How did you... Because everyone who moves here asks about her. Come in. I'll make tea. They sat in her kitchen. Margaret poured tea. Ethan didn't drink. Nobody knows who she is, Margaret said. What do you mean nobody knows? I mean she started showing up 8 months ago. Every morning. Same time. Same dogs. Nobody's ever seen her parents. Nobody's ever seen her get dropped off. She just appears. Ethan leaned forward. And nobody's called child services. Margaret laughed. Why would we? She's not in danger. Those dogs protect her like the president, and she handles them better than any adult I've seen. She's 6 years old. She's also walking 5 police canines like it's nothing. You tell me what parent taught her that. Ethan's stomach dropped. Police dogs. German shepherds that size moving in formation. Come on, you were a reporter. You know what you're looking at. Ethan set down his cup. Where does she go? Woods near the old textile mill. That's where she disappears every morning. And before you ask, no, nobody's followed her. Because around here, we mind our business. Someone should check on her. Margaret's face hardened. You don't have kids, do you? No. Then you don't understand. That little girl, she's surviving something. And the last thing she needs is some stranger deciding what's best for her. Ethan stood up. Thanks for the tea. Don't follow her, Margaret called after him. You'll only make it worse. Ethan walked out the door and went straight to his car. But he followed her the next morning, kept his distance, stayed in the car, watched through the rearview mirror as Emma walked the same route. Down Maple, left on Birch, through the park. Then she stopped, looked around, and slipped into the woods. Ethan waited 5 minutes. Then he got out and followed. The path was mud and broken branches. His shoes were wrong for this. His knees hurt. But he kept going. And then he saw it. A house. Or what used to be a house. Now it was rotting wood and broken windows and a roof that looked ready to collapse. But there was light inside. Ethan crouched behind a tree, watched. Emma opened the door. The dogs filed in. She followed. The door closed. And Ethan stood there with his heart pounding and his reporter brain screaming, "This is the story." He didn't go inside, not yet. He went home and made calls. City records, police contacts, friends who owed him favors. "I need information on a property," Ethan said to a clerk named Rita, who he'd helped once with a housing corruption story. "Woods near the old textile mill. Condemned house." Rita typed, paused. "That's the Carter property." "Who's Carter?" "Was Carter, Daniel Carter, K-9 officer, killed in the line 2 years ago." Ethan's chest tightened. "What happened?" "Drug raid went bad. He got shot 3 times covering his team. His dog dragged a wounded officer to safety. They both died at the hospital." "The dog died." "Yeah. Rex. That dog became a legend. Saved 2 lives before he bled out." Ethan wrote down the name. "Did Carter have family?" "A daughter. Emma Carter, 6 years old. Last known address was that house you're asking about." Ethan stopped writing. "The condemned house?" "Yeah. Social services tried to place her after her dad died, but she ran away from 3 foster homes. They eventually stopped looking, figured she'd turn up." "And did she?" Rita was quiet for a moment. "No." Ethan hung up. He sat at his kitchen table and stared at his notes. The girl wasn't walking the dogs. She was hiding them. The next morning, Ethan was on his porch when Emma walked by. This time, he followed on foot. She noticed immediately, stopped, turned around. "You shouldn't follow me." Her voice was quiet, calm, but there was steel underneath. Ethan raised his hands. "I'm not here to hurt you." "I know, but you're going to ruin everything anyway." The dog at her hip, the one with the scarred ear, took 1 step forward. Didn't growl, didn't bark, just stared. And Ethan understood that if he took 1 more step, that dog would make a decision. "I just want to help," Ethan said. "Nobody can help." "Why not?" "Because the second anyone knows about them, they'll take them away. And then they'll kill them." Ethan's breath caught. "What?" Emma's eyes didn't blink. "They're my dad's dogs. The police department wants them dead. And if you tell anyone I have them, you'll be the reason they die." She turned and walked away, and Ethan stood there, frozen. That night, he called Mills. Sergeant Jeff Mills was a cop Ethan had interviewed years ago for a story about overtime fraud. Mills hated reporters but tolerated Ethan. "What do you want, Cole? Daniel Carter, K-9 officer. What happened to his dogs?" Mills was silent for a long time. "Why are you asking?" "Because I think his daughter has them." "Jesus Christ." "So it's true." Mills exhaled. Carter had 5 K-9s, all tactical. When he died, the department tried to reassign them. But they wouldn't work, wouldn't eat, wouldn't train. They were bonded to Carter and nobody else. So the department retired them. To where? A kennel upstate. But the kennel couldn't handle them either. They attacked staff, destroyed equipment, so the department signed euthanasia orders. Ethan's stomach twisted. They were going to kill them. They're dangerous, Ethan. Trained to kill. And without Carter, they're unpredictable. But someone stopped it. Someone intercepted the transfer 6 months ago. The dogs never made it to the kennel, and the department's been looking for them ever since. It was the daughter, Ethan said. Emma. She hid them. Mills swore. That kid's 6 years old. I know. And she's living alone with 5 attack dogs. I know. And you want to help her? Yes. Mills laughed bitterly. Then don't tell anyone, because if the department finds those dogs, they'll finish the job, and Emma will lose the only family she has left. What if I can protect her? You can't. What if I try? Mills hung up. Ethan went back to the woods the next day, knocked on the door. Emma opened it. The dogs crowded behind her, watching. I told you not to come here. I know, but I need you to listen to me. Why should I? Because I talked to the police. And I know about the euthanasia orders. And I know you've been hiding your dad's dogs for 6 months. And I know you've been doing it alone. Emma's jaw tightened. So what? You're going to turn me in? No, I'm going to help you. I don't need help. Yes, you do. Because you're 6 years old and you're living in a condemned house with no heat and no electricity, and you're stealing food to keep 5 dogs alive. And sooner or later, someone's going to find out. And when they do, you're going to lose everything. Emma's voice cracked. Then what am I supposed to do? Let me help you. How? Ethan stepped closer. Tell me what you need. Food, medicine, supplies. Whatever it is, I'll get it. But you have to trust me. Emma looked at him, then at the dogs, then back at him. If you tell anyone, I won't. If you lie to me, I won't. Emma's hands were shaking. My dad said people always lie. Your dad was right, but I'm not lying, I promise. Emma stared at him for a long time, then she stepped aside. Come in. The inside of the house was worse than Ethan expected. No furniture, no heat. Sleeping bags on the floor. Dog food bags stacked in the corner. A first aid kit. A flashlight. A framed photo of a man in a police uniform holding a little girl and a German shepherd. Emma saw him looking at it. That's Rex, my dad's first dog. He died saving 2 officers. I heard. Everyone heard. They gave my dad a medal. They gave Rex a memorial, but nobody gave a damn about the other dogs. So you saved them. I didn't save them. I just didn't let them die. Ethan looked at the dogs. They were watching him. Calm. Alert. Waiting for Emma's command. How do you control them? Ethan asked. My dad taught me. He used to bring me to training. Let me practice commands. He said if anything ever happened to him, I'd need to know how to protect myself. He taught you this when you were how old? 4. Ethan's chest ached. He knew something might happen. He was a cop. Something always happens. Emma sat down on a sleeping bag. One of the dogs, a female with soft brown eyes, laid down next to her. This is Athena, Emma said. She's the smartest. She knows 12 commands in 3 languages. What languages? English, German, and whatever my dad made up when he was drunk. Ethan almost smiled. What about the others? Emma pointed. That's Apollo. He's the fastest. Maverick's the strongest. Nova's the best tracker. And Rex? She looked at the dog with the scarred ear. Rex is the leader. He decides if you're a threat or not. And if you are, you're dead before you hit the ground. Rex stared at Ethan. Ethan stared back. He doesn't trust you yet, Emma said. How do I get him to trust me? You don't. He decides, not you. Ethan nodded slowly. Fair enough. Emma pulled a notebook out of her backpack. I keep a log. What they eat. When they eat. Any injuries. Behavioral changes. My dad taught me that too. She handed it to Ethan. He flipped through it. Every page was filled with careful handwriting, dates, times, notes about each dog. You've been doing this for 6 months, Ethan said. 6 months and 4 days. How are you getting food? Emma looked away. I take it. You steal it. I take what they need. There's a difference. Emma. Don't. I know it's wrong. But I don't have a choice. Ethan closed the notebook. You do now. I'll get you food, medicine, whatever you need. But you have to let me help. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Why do you care? Because nobody helped me when I needed it, and I don't want that to happen to you. Emma wiped her eyes. What if you get caught? Then I get caught. What if they take the dogs? They won't. You can't promise that. You're right. I can't. But I can promise I'll try. Emma looked at the dogs, at Rex, at Athena, at the others. Okay, she whispered. But if anything happens to them, nothing's going to happen to them. Emma nodded. but neither of them believed it. Son, Ethan started bringing supplies the next day. Dog food, medicine, blankets, a space heater, batteries, water bottles. He carried everything through the woods in the early morning before anyone was awake. Emma met him at the door each time, watched him unload, never said thank you, but the way she looked at him said enough. "How much is this costing you?" she asked one morning. "Don't worry about it. I'll pay you back." "You're 6. You're not paying me back." Emma frowned. "I have money, my dad's pension. It goes into an account." "You can't access that account." "I know, but when I'm older—" "Emma, stop. I don't want your money." She looked at him. "Then what do you want?" "I want you to be safe." "Why?" "Because you deserve to be." Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "My dad used to say that I deserved good things, but then he died, so maybe he was wrong." Ethan crouched down. "Your dad wasn't wrong. He was right, and the fact that he's gone doesn't change that." Emma's lip trembled. "It feels like it does." "I know, but it doesn't. You still deserve good things, and I'm going to make sure you get them." Emma wiped her eyes. "You sound like him." "Is that a good thing?" "Yeah." Ethan smiled. "Then I'll take it." 3 weeks passed. Ethan kept bringing supplies. Emma kept surviving. The dog stayed healthy. And for the first time in 2 years, Emma started to believe things might be okay. But then everything fell apart. It started with a phone call. Margaret Finch called Ethan at 6 in the morning. Her voice was shaking. "Someone called animal control." Ethan's blood turned cold. "What?" "They said there's a child hoarding dangerous dogs in the woods. Animal control's coming tomorrow morning. They're bringing police backup." "Who called?" "I don't know. But Ethan, they're going to find her. And when they do, those dogs are dead." Ethan hung up, grabbed his jacket, ran. He reached the house in the woods just as Emma was feeding the dogs. She looked up, saw his face. "What's wrong?" "We need to move the dogs, now." "What?" "Why?" "Because animal control's coming tomorrow. Someone reported you, and if they find this place, they're taking the dogs." Emma's face went white. No. "We don't have time. We need to move them tonight." "Where?" "My house. It's not perfect, but it's better than here. We can hide them in my garage until we figure out a plan." Emma looked at the dogs. Her hands were shaking. "What if they find them there?" "They won't." "You don't know that." "You're right. I don't. But it's the only option we have." Emma's voice broke. "I can't lose them. They're all I have left." Ethan grabbed her shoulders. "You're not going to lose them. I promise. But we have to move. Now." Emma took a breath, nodded. "Okay, let's go." Yeah. They moved the dogs that night. It was chaos. 5 German shepherds don't move quietly. They barked. They pulled. They didn't want to get into Ethan's car. But Emma stayed calm, gave commands, stayed patient. And slowly, one by one, the dogs listened. By midnight, all 5 were in Ethan's garage. Emma sat on the floor surrounded by them. "We're safe," Ethan said. "For now." Emma nodded, but her hands were still shaking. "What if they come here?" she whispered. "They won't." "But what if they do?" "Then we'll figure it out. Together." Emma looked up at him. "You keep saying that. Together. But you don't have to do this. You could just walk away." "I'm not walking away." "Why not?" Ethan sat down beside her. "Because when I was 10, my dad died. Heart attack. And nobody helped us. Nobody checked on me or my mom. Nobody made sure we were okay. And I spent my whole life wishing someone had. So I'm not going to let that happen to you." Emma stared at him. Then she leaned against his shoulder. And for the first time in 2 years, she let herself cry. The next morning, Animal Control raided the house in the woods. Mills called Ethan with an update. They didn't find anything, but they're not done. Someone knows about those dogs, and they're going to keep looking. Who called it in? I don't know, but Ethan, you need to be careful. If they trace this back to you, you'll be charged with harboring dangerous animals. I don't care. You should, because Emma needs you, and you can't help her if you're in jail. Ethan hung up. He looked at Emma, who was sitting in his kitchen with a bowl of cereal. The dogs waited patiently by her feet. She looked up. Are we in trouble? Not yet. But we will be. Ethan sat down across from her. Maybe. But we'll deal with it when it happens. Emma set down her spoon. I don't want you to get hurt because of me. I won't. You don't know that. No, but I know I'd rather get hurt trying to protect you than do nothing and regret it forever. Emma's eyes filled with tears. You're a good person. So are you. I'm not. I steal. I lie. I hide. You survive. There's a difference. Emma wiped her eyes. My dad used to say that. Then he was a smart man. Emma nodded. Yeah, he was. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Rex walked over, sat down next to Ethan, and for the first time, he didn't stare at him like a threat. Emma's eyes widened. He trusts you. Ethan looked at Rex. How do you know? Because if he didn't, you'd be on the floor bleeding. Ethan reached out slowly, touched Rex's head. Rex didn't move, just sat there, calm, trusting. And Emma smiled. He knows you're safe, she said. Ethan's chest tightened. I hope so. He does. Rex is never wrong. But 3 days later, everything changed again. Ethan woke up to pounding on his door. He opened it. 2 police officers stood on his porch. Behind them, an animal control van. Ethan Cole. Yes. We have a warrant to search your property for illegally harbored K9 units. Ethan's stomach dropped. On what grounds? Anonymous tip. Step aside. Ethan didn't move. You can't just... Step aside, now. Ethan looked past them, saw Emma hiding behind his kitchen door, saw the fear in her eyes, and he made a decision. No. The officer's eyes narrowed. Excuse me. I said no, you're not searching my house. Sir, we have a warrant. I don't care. You're not taking those dogs. The officer reached for his cuffs. Sir, you're interfering with... Those dogs belong to Daniel Carter, K9 officer, killed in the line 2 years ago, and his daughter's been keeping them alive because your department tried to kill them. So no, you're not searching my house, and you're not taking those dogs, not without a fight. The officers stared at him. Behind them, a news van pulled up. Then another. Then another. Someone had tipped off the press. And suddenly, Ethan understood. This wasn't about the dogs. This was about the story. The officer's radio crackled. Stand down. Captain's orders. The officer looked at Ethan, then at the cameras, then back at Ethan. This isn't over, he said. Yeah, Ethan said. It is. The officers left. The news van stayed, and Emma walked out from behind the door. What just happened? Ethan looked at her. You just became famous. Is that good or bad? I don't know yet, but we're about to find out. The cameras didn't leave. By noon, there were 6 news vans parked on Maple Street. Reporters knocked on Ethan's door every 20 minutes. His phone rang so many times he stopped answering. Emma sat on his couch with Rex at her feet, staring at the window. They're not going to leave, are they? She asked. No. What do they want? Ethan looked at her. They want your story. I don't have a story. Yes, you do. Little girl saves her dead father's police dogs. It's the kind of thing that sells papers and gets clicks. Emma's jaw tightened. I don't want to be a story. Too late. You already are. The doorbell rang again. Ethan ignored it. Emma stood up. I need to leave. Where are you going to go? I don't know. Somewhere they can't find me. Emma, you can't run from this. Watch me. She grabbed her backpack, started for the door. Ethan blocked her. If you run now, they'll think you're hiding something. They'll dig deeper. They'll find out about the dogs, about the euthanasia orders, about everything, and then they'll twist it into whatever story gets them the most views. Emma's hands shook. So what am I supposed to do? Tell the truth, before someone else tells it for you. I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Because the second I tell anyone what happened, they'll take the dogs. They'll say I'm not capable of taking care of them. They'll say I'm just a kid, and they'll kill them anyway. Ethan crouched down. Not if we control the story. What does that mean? It means we go out there. We tell them who you are. We tell them what you've been doing. We tell them why. And we make it impossible for anyone to take those dogs without looking like monsters. Emma stared at him. You want me to talk to reporters? I want you to tell the truth. What if it doesn't work? Then at least we tried. Emma looked at Rex, at the other dogs, at Ethan. Okay, she whispered. But you do the talking. No, you do. They need to hear it from you. I'm 6. Exactly. That's why they'll listen. Emma took a shaky breath. What do I say? You tell them about your dad, about the dogs, about what you've been doing to keep them alive. And you tell them why it matters. And if they don't care, they will. Trust me. Emma nodded slowly. Okay, let's do it before I change my mind. Ethan opened the door. The cameras turned on immediately. Emma stepped outside. Rex followed. Then Athena. Then Apollo Maverick and Nova. The reporters surged forward. Ethan held up his hand. She'll make a statement, but you don't interrupt. You don't shout questions. You let her talk. Understood. The reporters nodded. Emma stood on the porch. 5 German shepherds sat beside her in perfect formation. She looked at the cameras, at the people, at the strangers who wanted to turn her life into entertainment. And she started talking. My name is Emma Carter. I'm 6 years old. My dad was Officer Daniel Carter. He died 2 years ago saving his team. These are his dogs. The police department tried to kill them because they said they were dangerous. But they're not dangerous. They're loyal. They're brave. And they're the only family I have left. So I hid them. I've been taking care of them for 6 months. And I'm not going to let anyone take them away. Her voice didn't shake, didn't waver. She sounded exactly like her father. One reporter raised his hand. Emma, where have you been living? In my dad's old house. By yourself. With the dogs. Who's been taking care of you? Emma looked at Ethan. He has. He's been helping me. And before anyone asks, he didn't know about the dogs until 3 weeks ago. He's not in trouble. I am. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Another reporter spoke up. Emma, do you understand that those dogs were scheduled for euthanasia? Yes. And you hid them anyway? Yes. Why? Emma's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. Because my dad loved them. And they loved him. And when he died, everyone forgot about them. Everyone except me. So I made a promise. I promised I'd keep them safe. And I'm not breaking that promise. Not for anyone. The reporters were silent. One of them, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes, stepped forward. What do you want people to know, Emma? Emma looked at her. I want them to know that heroes don't stop being heroes just because they're not useful anymore. My dad's dogs saved lives. They risked everything. And the second they couldn't do that job anymore, people wanted to throw them away. But they deserve better. They deserve to live, and I'm going to make sure they do, even if I have to fight everyone to do it. The woman smiled. Thank you, Emma. Emma nodded, turned, walked back inside. Ethan followed her. The door closed, and Emma collapsed onto the couch, shaking. "I did it," she whispered. "You did. Did I say the right things? You said everything you needed to." Emma looked at him. "What happens now?" Ethan's phone buzzed. He looked at it. His eyes widened. "What?" Emma asked. "Your story just went viral." Emma blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means millions of people just heard what you said, and they're angry. At the police department, at the people who tried to kill the dogs, at everyone who ignored you." "Is that good?" "I don't know yet." The phone rang. Ethan answered. "Mr. Cole, this is Captain Rodriguez from the Metro Police Department. We need to talk." Ethan's stomach dropped. "About what?" "About Emma Carter, about the dogs, and about how we're going to fix this mess before it destroys the entire department." Ethan looked at Emma. "I'm listening." "We're holding a press conference tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I want Emma there, and I want those dogs there. We're going to make this right." "What does that mean?" "It means the euthanasia orders are being rescinded. It means Emma gets to keep the dogs. And it means we're going to publicly apologize for how this was handled." Ethan couldn't breathe. "You're serious?" "Dead serious. The mayor's breathing down my neck. The media's crucifying us. And frankly, Mr. Cole, that little girl made us look like heartless bastards. So yeah, I'm serious. We're fixing this." "What's the catch?" Rodriguez paused. "The catch is that Emma needs a legal guardian. She can't live alone. She can't keep taking care of those dogs by herself. So either you step up or we place her with social services. And if we do that, the dogs go to a certified facility." Ethan's mind raced. "What if I become her guardian?" "Then you'll need to pass a background check, home inspection, psych evaluation, the works, and it won't be fast." "How long?" 2 weeks, maybe 3. Can you handle that?" Ethan looked at Emma. At the little girl who'd fought harder than anyone he'd ever met. At the dogs who'd trusted her with their lives. "Yes," Ethan said. "I can handle it." "Good. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Don't be late." Rodriguez hung up. Ethan set down the phone. Emma stared at him. "What did he say?" "They're rescinding the euthanasia orders. You get to keep the dogs." Emma's face lit up. "Really? Really? What's the catch?" "You need a guardian, someone to take care of you, and someone to help with the dogs." Emma's smile faded. "Who?" Ethan took a breath. "Me, if you want." Emma stared at him. "You want to be my guardian. I want to make sure you're safe, and that the dogs are safe. And if that means becoming your legal guardian, then yeah, I want to." Emma's voice broke. "Why would you do that?" "Because I told you I wouldn't let you lose them, and I meant it." Emma launched herself at him, wrapped her arms around his neck, and started crying. Ethan held her. "It's going to be okay. Promise." "I promise." Emma pulled back, looked at him with red eyes. "What happens tomorrow?" "We go to the press conference. We stand in front of everyone, and we show them that you're not going anywhere." Emma nodded. "Okay, I can do that. I know you can." But neither of them knew what was coming, because at that exact moment, someone was watching the news coverage of Emma's statement. Someone who recognized the dogs. Someone who knew Daniel Carter. And someone who wanted those dogs for a very different reason. His name was Marcus Webb, and he wasn't going to let a 6-year-old girl stand in his way. The press conference was chaos. Reporters packed the police station lobby. Cameras lined every wall. Emma stood next to Ethan, wearing a clean dress Margaret Finch had bought her. The 5 dogs sat behind her in formation. Captain Rodriguez stood at the podium. He looked tired, angry, like he'd been fighting with his superiors all night. "Thank you for coming," Rodriguez said. I'm here to address the situation involving Emma Carter and the K-9 units formerly assigned to Officer Daniel Carter. The cameras flashed. 2 years ago, Officer Carter was killed in the line of duty. He left behind 5 highly trained K-9 units. Due to their bond with Officer Carter, these dogs were deemed unfit for reassignment and scheduled for euthanasia. That decision was made without proper consideration for alternative placements. And it was wrong. Rodriguez paused, looked at Emma. Emma Carter took it upon herself to protect her father's dogs. She hid them. She cared for them. She risked everything to keep them alive. And while I can't condone a 6-year-old child living alone in an abandoned house, I can acknowledge her bravery, her loyalty, and her refusal to let her father's legacy be erased. The room was silent. Effective immediately, the euthanasia orders for all 5 dogs are rescinded. Emma Carter will retain custody of the dogs under the supervision of her legal guardian, Ethan Cole, pending completion of the guardianship process. And the Metro Police Department formally apologizes to Emma for the pain and fear we caused her. The reporters erupted with questions. Rodriguez held up his hand. Emma has agreed to make a brief statement. Please hold your questions until she's finished. Emma stepped forward. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. Thank you for listening, she said. My dad always told me that doing the right thing isn't easy. And he was right. It's hard, it's scary, and sometimes it feels impossible. But you do it anyway, because that's what heroes do. My dad was a hero. His dogs are heroes, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure everyone remembers that. She stepped back. The room exploded with applause, and Emma, for the first time in 2 years, smiled. Joy. They left through this back entrance to avoid the crowd. Ethan loaded the dogs into his car. Emma climbed into the passenger seat. You did great, Ethan said. I was terrified. Couldn't tell. Emma smiled. Good. They drove in silence for a few minutes. Then Emma said, What happens now? Now we go home. We get you enrolled in school. We set up a routine. We make this official. What if they change their minds? They won't. How do you know? Because the whole world is watching now. And if they go back on their word, they'll never live it down. Emma nodded, looked out the window. Do you think my dad would be proud of me? Ethan's chest tightened. I think your dad is looking down at you right now and thinking you're the bravest person he's ever met. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I miss him so much. I know. It hurts every single day. It always will. But it'll get easier, I promise. Emma wiped her eyes. When did your dad die? 30 years ago. Does it still hurt? Every single day. Emma looked at him. But you're okay. I am. How? Ethan thought for a moment. Because I found people who made it easier. And you will too. Emma leaned her head against the window. I think I already did. Ethan glanced at her. Yeah. Yeah, you. Ethan's throat tightened. Thanks, kid. Don't call me kid. I'm 6 3/4. Ethan laughed. My apologies. They pulled into Ethan's driveway, but something was wrong. The front door was open. Ethan's stomach dropped. Stay in the car. Why? Just stay here. Ethan got out. Approached the house slowly. The dogs growled. Quiet. Emma whispered from the car. They went silent. Ethan stepped inside. The living room was trashed, furniture overturned, books scattered, papers everywhere. And sitting on the couch holding a gun was a man Ethan didn't recognize. Close the door, the man said. Ethan didn't move. Who are you? Marcus Webb. I worked with Daniel Carter. Ethan's blood ran cold. What do you want? Marcus stood up. I want the dogs. They're not for sale. I'm not buying. I'm taking. Like hell you are. Marcus pointed the gun at Ethan. You don't understand. Those dogs are worth a fortune. Carter trained them for private security work. I've got buyers lined up. Rich clients who'll pay 6 figures per dog. And I'm not letting some bleeding heart reporter and a little girl ruin that for me. Ethan's mind raced. You tipped off animal control. Damn right I did. I figured they'd seize the dogs and I'd intercept the transfer. But then you had to play hero, and now the whole world knows about them. So I'm changing tactics. You can't just take them. Watch me. Marcus stepped forward, and Rex lunged through the open door. Marcus spun. Fired. The bullet missed. Rex hit him like a freight train, knocked him to the ground. The gun skittered across the floor. Ethan dove for it. Marcus kicked him in the ribs. Ethan gasped. Marcus scrambled for the gun. But Athena was faster. She grabbed Marcus's arm. Bit down, hard. Marcus screamed. The other dogs swarmed into the house. Apollo, Maverick, Nova. All of them circling Marcus like wolves. Emma stood in the doorway. Down! The dogs released Marcus, but they didn't back off. Marcus clutched his bleeding arm. Call them off. Emma walked over, picked up the gun, looked at it, then at Marcus. You worked with my dad, she asked. Yeah. Then you should know better. She handed the gun to Ethan. Call the police. Ethan dialed. Kept the gun trained on Marcus. Emma crouched down next to him. My dad taught me something. He said people who hurt dogs are the worst kind of cowards, because dogs can't fight back. They just trust you, and when you betray that trust, you don't deserve forgiveness. Marcus glared at her. You're just a kid. And you're just a criminal. But at least I'm honest about what I am. The police arrived 10 minutes later. Mills was the first through the door. He saw Marcus on the ground, saw the dogs, saw Emma holding Rex's collar. Jesus Christ, Mills muttered. He tried to steal the dogs, Ethan said. Mills looked at Marcus. Marcus Webb, should have known you'd be involved in this. You know him, Ethan asked. Former K-9 handler. Got fired 3 years ago for selling department equipment. Figured he'd crawled back under whatever rock he came from. Marcus spat blood. Those dogs are wasted on a kid. Mills grabbed his arm, hauled him to his feet. Shut up. They dragged Marcus outside. Emma sat on the floor. The dogs surrounded her. She was shaking. Ethan sat beside her. You okay? No. Fair enough. Is it always going to be like this? Like what? People trying to take things from me. Ethan thought about it. Probably, but you'll get better at stopping them. Emma leaned against him. I'm tired. I know. I just want things to be normal. They will be, eventually. When? I don't know, but I promise we'll get there. Emma closed her eyes. Okay. Mills came back inside. We need a statement. Ethan nodded. Give us a minute. Mills left. Emma looked up at Ethan. What if more people come? Then we deal with them. I don't want to keep fighting. Then we won't. We'll figure out a way to make this permanent, legal, so nobody can touch you or the dogs ever again. How? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. Emma nodded. Promise. Promise. But Ethan's mind was already working, because Marcus Webb wasn't the only person who knew about those dogs. There were others. People Daniel Carter worked with. People who knew what those dogs could do. People who wanted them for the wrong reasons. And Ethan realized that keeping Emma safe wasn't just about protecting her from the system. It was about protecting her from the people her father used to trust. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He sat at his kitchen table with a cup of coffee and his laptop. He pulled up Daniel Carter's service record, started digging, cross-referencing names, looking for connections. And he found something. Daniel Carter had worked on a task force 3 years ago. High-profile drug operation, multiple arrests, millions in seized assets. But one name kept appearing in the reports. Marcus Webb. He'd been Daniel's partner on that task force. They'd worked together for 2 years, were friends according to witness statements. But then Marcus got fired, and Daniel stayed silent. Ethan kept digging, found an internal affairs report. Marcus had been accused of stealing evidence from a raid. Daniel had testified against him. Marcus was fired, charged, convicted. He served 18 months, got out 6 months ago, right around the time Emma took the dogs. Ethan's chest tightened. This wasn't random. Marcus had been planning this. He'd waited for the right moment, waited for Emma to go public, waited for the dogs to become valuable. And then he'd tried to take them. But he wasn't working alone. Nobody waits 18 months for revenge without a plan. Ethan pulled up Marcus's known associates, started making calls, and 3 hours later he had a name. Vincent Cruz, private military contractor, ran a security firm that specialized in personal protection for high-value clients. Cruz had been trying to acquire trained K-9 units for years, but the best dogs were owned by police departments and the military, and they didn't sell, unless someone stole them. Ethan sat back. Marcus was the inside man. Cruz was the buyer, and Emma was standing in their way. Ethan grabbed his phone, called Mills. "It's 3 in the morning," Mills groaned. "Marcus Webb isn't working alone." Mills was silent for a moment. "What do you mean?" "I mean he's got a buyer, Vincent Cruz. Runs a PMC called Black Line Security. He wants the dogs, and he's not going to stop just because Marcus got arrested." "Christ, you're sure?" "Check Marcus's phone records. I guarantee you'll find calls to Cruz." "I'll look into it. But Ethan, if you're right, Emma's in danger." "I know. So what are you going to do?" "Whatever it takes to keep her safe." Mills exhaled. "Don't do anything stupid." "Too late." Ethan hung up. He walked upstairs, checked on Emma. She was asleep in the guest room with all 5 dogs surrounding her like a fortress. She looked peaceful. Ethan closed the door quietly, and he made a decision. If Vincent Cruz wanted those dogs, he'd have to go through Ethan first, and Ethan wasn't going to make it easy. The next morning, Emma woke up to the smell of pancakes. She walked downstairs. Ethan was at the stove. The dogs were lined up by the back door waiting patiently. "Morning," Ethan said. Emma yawned. "You're cooking. Don't sound so surprised. You burned toast yesterday." "This is different. Pancakes are easier." Emma sat down. "Did you sleep?" "A little." "You're lying." Ethan flipped a pancake. "When did you get so smart?" "My dad said I was born smart. I just needed time to prove it." Ethan smiled, set a plate in front of her. "Eat." Emma took a bite. "It's good." "See, I'm not completely useless." Emma grinned. "Just mostly." They ate in comfortable silence. Then Emma said, "What happens now?" "Now we wait. The guardianship process takes a few weeks. In the meantime, we settle in. Make this place feel like home." "What if Cruz comes after us?" Ethan froze. "How do you know about Cruz?" "I heard you on the phone last night. The walls are thin." Ethan set down his fork. "We'll deal with him if he shows up." "How?" "I don't know yet, but we will." Emma looked at the dogs. "They'll protect me." "I know, but I'd rather it not come to that." "Why?" "Because you've been through enough, and so have they." Emma nodded slowly. "Do you think this will ever end?" "Yes." "When?" "When we make it end." Emma looked at him. "How do we do that?" Ethan thought for a moment. "We make it so nobody can take the dogs, ever. Legally, permanently. We make them untouchable." "How?" "I'm working on it." And he was. Because Ethan had spent 30 years learning how to fight systems, how to expose corruption, how to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. And he wasn't about to stop now. Not for Emma, not for the dogs, not for anyone. This was his story now, and he was going to make sure it had a happy ending. 2 days later, Mills showed up at Ethan's door with a file folder and a grim expression. "You were right," Mills said. "Marcus's phone records show 37 calls to Vincent Cruz over the past 6 months. They were planning this from the beginning." Ethan let him in. Emma was upstairs doing homework Margaret had brought over. The dogs were in the backyard. "What else?" Ethan asked. Mills opened the folder. "Cruz runs a legitimate security company on paper, but his client list reads like a who's who of people you don't want to meet in a dark alley. Arms dealers, cartel bosses, politicians with dirty money. And they all want one thing: trained attack dogs that can't be traced back to law enforcement. So he's been trying to get his hands on K9 units for years, but the military and police departments don't sell, so he needed someone on the inside. Someone who knew where the dogs were. Someone who had access. Marcus. Exactly. Marcus fed him information about Daniel's dogs, when they'd be transferred, where they'd be kept. But then Emma threw a wrench in everything by hiding them. Ethan leaned back. "So what's Cruz's next move?" Mills closed the folder. "That's why I'm here. We arrested Marcus, but he's not talking. Lawyered up immediately. And without his testimony, we can't touch Cruz. He's too insulated. You're telling me Cruz is just going to walk away?" "No. I'm telling you, he's going to come for those dogs himself. And when he does, he won't make the same mistakes Marcus did." Emma appeared at the top of the stairs. "When's he coming?" Mills looked up. "You should be doing homework." "I finished. When's Cruz coming?" Mills glanced at Ethan. Ethan nodded. "We don't know," Mills said. "But soon. His reputation depends on delivering what he promises. And he promised his clients those dogs." Emma came down the stairs. "Then we need to be ready." "Emma," Ethan started. "No. Don't tell me I'm too young or this isn't my fight. These are my dogs. My dad's dogs. And I'm not letting anyone take them." Mills studied her. "You sound just like your father." "Good. My dad didn't back down from bad guys. Neither will I." Mills stood. "I'll have patrol cars swing by every hour. But Ethan, you need to be smart about this. Cruz has resources, money, connections. If he wants those dogs badly enough, he'll find a way. Then I'll find a way to stop him." Mills left. Emma looked at Ethan. "You have a plan, right?" "Working on it." "That's not an answer." "It's the best I've got right now." Emma crossed her arms. "My dad used to say that the best defense is preparation. So let's prepare." "How?" "Security system. Cameras. Locks. And we train the dogs for protection. Not attack. Protection. There's a difference." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "You know how to do that?" "My dad taught me. He said a good K9 handler knows when to command and when to let the dog decide. Rex already knows. The others will follow his lead. Emma, these dogs already know how to protect you. They know how to protect me from random threats, but Cruz isn't random. He's calculated. He'll study us, learn our patterns, find our weaknesses. We need to be smarter." Ethan stared at her. "When did you become a tactical genius?" "When I had to survive alone for 6 months." She walked outside. The dogs immediately surrounded her. She knelt down, started giving commands in German. Ethan watched through the window. The dogs moved with precision, responding to her voice, her gestures, her presence, and he realized something. Emma wasn't just Daniel Carter's daughter. She was his legacy. That night, Ethan installed cameras around the house. Motion sensors, new locks. He turned his home into a fortress. Margaret came over with dinner. She looked at the cameras and shook her head. "This is what it's come to," she asked. "For now. That child shouldn't have to live like this. I know, but until Cruz is dealt with, this is how it has to be." Margaret set down a casserole. "What happens if Cruz doesn't come? What if he just waits you out?" Then we wait longer. You can't keep a 6-year-old locked in a house indefinitely. I'm not locking her in, I'm keeping her safe. Margaret touched his arm. Ethan, you're a good man, but you can't protect her from everything. At some point you have to trust that she'll be okay. Not yet. When? When Cruz is behind bars, or dead. Whichever comes first. Margaret sighed. Just don't lose yourself trying to save her. She needs you whole, not broken. She left. Emma came downstairs. Was that about me? No. You're lying again. Ethan smiled. You really need to stop being so perceptive. Can't help it. I'm 6 3/4, almost 7. That means I'm basically a genius. Is that right? Yep. My dad said so. Ethan's smile faded. Your dad was right about a lot of things. Emma sat next to him. Do you think he'd be mad at me? For what? For putting you in danger, for making you deal with all this, for ruining your retirement. Ethan looked at her. Your dad would be proud of you, and he'd probably punch me if I walked away. Why? Because that's what good men do. They protect the people who can't protect themselves, even if it's hard, even if it's dangerous, even if it costs them everything. Emma leaned against him. You're a good man. I'm trying to be. You already are. They sat in silence for a moment. Then the motion sensor went off. Ethan was on his feet instantly. Stay here. No. Emma. I'm not staying here while someone tries to break in. The dogs need me. Ethan grabbed his phone, pulled up the camera feed. A man stood at the edge of the driveway, mid-40s, expensive suit, calm expression. Vincent Cruz. That's him, Ethan said. Emma looked at the screen. He doesn't look dangerous. That's what makes him dangerous. Cruz knocked on the door. Ethan answered, left the chain lock on. Can I help you? Cruz smiled. Mr. Cole, I'm Vincent Cruz. I believe we have a mutual problem. We don't have anything mutual. I think we do. You have 5 dogs that belong to me, and I'd like them back. They don't belong to you. They belong to Emma. Cruz's smile didn't waver. Emma's a child. Children don't own valuable assets. Adults do. And I'm prepared to compensate you generously for your trouble. They're not for sale. Everything's for sale, Mr. Cole. It's just a matter of price. Emma pushed past Ethan. My dad always said that people who think everything has a price have never loved anything. Cruz looked at her. His smile finally faded. You must be Emma. I've heard a lot about you. And I've heard a lot about you. You're a criminal who wants to sell my dad's dogs to bad people. I'm a businessman who provides security solutions to clients who need them. You're a liar. Cruz's eyes hardened. Careful, little girl. You don't want to make an enemy of me. Emma stepped forward. Too late. You already are. Rex appeared behind her. Then Athena. Then the others. All 5 dogs stared at Cruz through the doorway. Cruz didn't flinch. Impressive. But dogs can be controlled, bought, trained to obey new masters, just like people. Not these dogs, Emma said. They only obey family, and you're not family. Cruz reached into his jacket. Ethan moved instantly, slammed the door, locked it, pulled Emma back. Get upstairs, now. What's he doing? I don't know, but we're not waiting to find out. They heard footsteps, moving around the house, testing windows, checking doors. Ethan called Mills. Cruz is here, at my house. He's trying to get in. I'm sending units now, 5 minutes. Make it 3. Ethan hung up, looked at Emma. We need to get you somewhere safe. I'm not leaving the dogs. Emma. No. My dad stayed and fought. So will I. The window in the kitchen shattered. A smoke canister flew through, hit the floor, started hissing. Ethan grabbed Emma, pulled her into the hallway. Stay low. Cover your mouth." The dogs started barking, aggressive, territorial. Another window broke, back door, then another. Cruz wasn't alone. 3 men in tactical gear entered through different points, moving fast, professional. Rex lunged at the first one, grabbed his arm. The man screamed, tried to shake him off. Athena went for the second. Apollo took the third. Ethan pushed Emma toward the stairs. "Go. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Don't come out until I say." "What about you?" "I'll be fine. Go." Emma ran. Ethan turned, saw one of Cruz's men raising a tranquilizer gun at Rex. Ethan didn't think, just moved, tackled the man. They hit the ground hard. The man's elbow connected with Ethan's jaw. Stars exploded in his vision. The man rolled, pinned him, raised a fist. Maverick hit him like a missile, dragged him off Ethan. Ethan got up, stumbled. His ribs screamed, his vision blurred. Cruz stood in the doorway, calm, watching, like this was all just business. "This is pointless," Cruz said. "You can't win. Watch me. I have more men, more resources, more time. You have a 6-year-old girl and 5 dogs. The math doesn't work in your favor." "Math's never been my strong suit." Cruz pulled out a gun. "Last chance. Give me the dogs. Walk away. Nobody gets hurt." "Nobody except the dogs. They're animals. Tools. They'll be well cared for." "They're family." Cruz aimed the gun at Rex. "Then watch your family die." Emma's voice cut through the chaos. "Touch him, and you die first." Everyone turned. Emma stood at the top of the stairs, holding a baseball bat. The dogs immediately moved to her. Cruz laughed. "What are you going to do with that? You're 6 years old." 6 3/4, and my dad taught me that size doesn't matter, intent does, and I intend to protect what's mine. Cruz raised the gun toward her. Rex moved faster than Ethan had ever seen. Cleared the distance in 2 seconds, grabbed Cruz's wrist, bit down. Cruz screamed, dropped the gun. The other dogs swarmed, not attacking, just surrounding, waiting for Emma's command. "Down," Emma said quietly. The dogs backed off, but they didn't stop watching. Police sirens wailed outside. Cruz clutched his bleeding wrist. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is," Mills said from the doorway. Gun drawn. 3 officers behind him. "Vincent Cruz, you're under arrest for breaking and entering assault and attempted kidnapping. You have the right to remain silent." Cruz smiled through the pain. "My lawyers will have me out in an hour." "Maybe, but by then this will be all over the news, and your clients will know you failed. Good luck staying in business after that." Cruz's smile vanished. Mills cuffed him, led him outside. Ethan looked at Emma. She was shaking, still holding the baseball bat. He walked over, took the bat gently. "You okay?" Emma nodded, then burst into tears. Ethan pulled her into his arms. "It's over. You're safe." "I was so scared." "I know, but you were also brave. Braver than anyone I've ever met." Emma cried into his shoulder. The dogs pressed close. A living shield of loyalty and love. And Ethan realized something. This wasn't just about protecting Emma anymore. This was about giving her the life she deserved. The life her father would have wanted. And Ethan was going to make damn sure she got it. The next morning, the house was a crime scene. Police tape, evidence markers, forensics teams. Emma sat on the porch with the dogs, watching, quiet. Mills came over. "We found enough evidence to charge Cruz with 12 felonies, plus his clients are distancing themselves. He's done." "Good," Ethan said. "Marcus is talking now, cutting a deal. He's giving us names, locations, everything. By the time this is over, we'll have dismantled Cruz's entire operation." "What about Emma?" Mills looked at her. "What about her? Is she in danger from anyone else?" "No. Cruz was the big fish. The others are small time. They won't come after her." Ethan exhaled. Good. Mills clapped him on the shoulder. You did good, Cole. You saved that kid. And those dogs. Hell of a retirement plan. Not the one I expected. Never is. Mills left. Margaret came over with coffee and bandages. You look like hell. Feel like it too. She started cleaning the cut on his forehead. That girl loves you, you know? I know. And you love her. Ethan didn't answer. Margaret smiled. Thought so. So what's next? Next, I finish the guardianship paperwork, make it official, give Emma a real home. And the dogs. They're part of the package. Margaret laughed. You're going to have your hands full. I know, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Emma walked over. Are you talking about me again? Maybe. Stop it, it's weird. Margaret grinned. Get used to it, sweetie. Adults talk about kids all the time. Emma rolled her eyes. I'm almost 7. I'm not a kid. Sure you're not, Ethan said. Emma punched his arm, gently. You're annoying. That's my job now. What job? Ethan took a breath. Guardian. Parent. Whatever you want to call it. I got the paperwork approved this morning. It's official. You're stuck with me. Emma stared at him. Really? Really? Her eyes filled with tears. You mean it? I mean it. Emma threw her arms around him. Thank you. Ethan held her. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You saved me. You saved the dogs. You saved everything. You saved yourself, kid. I just helped a little. Emma pulled back. Stop calling me kid. Never. She smiled. Fine, then I'm calling you old man. Deal. Margaret laughed. You two are perfect for each other. Emma looked at the dogs, at Rex, at her father's legacy, at the family she'd fought so hard to protect. Can we go home now? She asked. Ethan nodded. Yeah, let's go home. 3 weeks later, life started to feel normal. Emma enrolled in school, made friends, started smiling more, laughing more. The dog settled into a routine. Morning walks, training sessions, lazy afternoons in the backyard. Ethan adjusted, learned how to cook more than pancakes, helped with homework, attended parent-teacher conferences. He'd spent 30 years chasing stories, and now he was living one. But normalcy didn't last long. Because one afternoon, Emma came home from school with a black eye. Ethan saw it immediately. What happened? Emma shrugged. Nothing. Emma. It's fine. It's not fine. Who hit you? Emma set down her backpack. Some kid at school. He said my dad was a coward, that he died for nothing, so I punched him, and he punched back. Ethan's jaw tightened. What's his name? Doesn't matter, I handled it. By getting into a fight, by standing up for my dad, there's a difference. Ethan sighed, sat down. Come here. Emma sat next to him. Your dad wasn't a coward, Ethan said. He was a hero, and anyone who says different is an idiot. But fighting every idiot you meet isn't the answer. Then what is? Living well, being happy, honoring your dad by being the best person you can be. That's how you prove them wrong. Emma looked at him. Is that what you did when people said things about your dad? Ethan paused. No, I fought. A lot. And it didn't help. It just made things worse. So what should I do? Be better than me. Be better than them. Be the person your dad raised you to be. Emma nodded slowly. Okay, I'll try. That's all I'm asking. She hugged him. Thanks, old man. Anytime, kid. But that night, Ethan got a call from Emma's school. The principal wanted a meeting. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. Ethan's stomach sank. Because he knew what this was about, and he knew it wasn't going to be good. The principal's office smelled like old coffee and stress. Principal Davidson sat behind her desk. Mid-50s, tired eyes. She gestured for Ethan and Emma to sit. "Thank you for coming," Davidson said. "What's this about?" Ethan asked. Davidson folded her hands. "Emma got into a physical altercation yesterday with another student. This is her second fight this month." "Second?" Ethan looked at Emma. Emma stared at the floor. Davidson continued. "We have a zero-tolerance policy for violence. I understand Emma's been through a lot, but we can't allow students to resolve conflicts with their fists." "What did the other kid say to her?" Davidson blinked. "Excuse me. What did he say to provoke her?" "That's not relevant." "Yes, it is. Emma doesn't fight for no reason. So what did he say?" Davidson hesitated. "He made an insensitive comment about her father." "So he insulted a dead police officer to his daughter's face, and you're punishing her for defending his memory." "Mr. Cole, I understand your frustration." "No, you don't. Because if you did, you'd be punishing the kid who thought it was okay to mock a 6-year-old girl's dead father." 7, Emma said quietly. Ethan looked at her. "What?" "I'm 7 now, as of yesterday." Ethan's chest tightened. He'd forgotten her birthday. Davidson cleared her throat. "Be that as it may, Emma's behavior is concerning. The fights, the isolation, the refusal to engage with other students. I think she needs help." "What kind of help?" "Counseling, therapy, someone who can help her process her trauma." Emma stood up. "I'm not broken." Davidson softened. "Nobody said you were, Emma. But losing a parent is hard, and it's okay to need help." "I don't need help. I need people to stop treating me like I'm fragile. I'm not. I'm strong. My dad made sure of that." "Emma," Ethan started. "No. I'm tired of everyone acting like I'm going to break. I survived 6 months alone. I protected my dad's dogs. I stood up to criminals. I'm not some sad little girl who needs fixing. I'm fine." She walked out. Ethan stood. "I'll talk to her." Davidson nodded. "Mr. Cole, I know you're trying your best, but Emma needs more than good intentions. She needs professional help, and if she doesn't get it, I'm afraid she'll only hurt herself more." Ethan didn't respond, just left. He found Emma sitting on a bench outside. The dogs were waiting in his car. She was staring at nothing. Ethan sat beside her. "Why didn't you tell me it was your birthday?" Emma shrugged. "Didn't seem important." "Your birthday's always important." "Not when your dad's dead." Ethan's throat tightened. "Emma, I don't want to talk about it." "We have to." "Why?" "So you can tell me I need therapy. So you can tell me I'm broken." "You're not broken." "Then why does everyone keep treating me like I am?" "Because people don't know what else to do. They see a kid who's been through hell, and they want to fix it. But they don't realize you don't need fixing. You need support." Emma looked at him. "What's the difference?" "Fixing means changing who you are. Support means helping you stay who you are while you heal." Emma was quiet for a long moment. "Do you think I need therapy?" "I think talking to someone might help. Not because you're broken, but because carrying all this alone is hard, and you don't have to do it alone anymore." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I miss him so much." "I know. And I'm so angry, all the time, at everyone, at everything, at him for leaving me." "That's okay." "It doesn't feel okay. It never does. But it's okay to be angry. It's okay to hurt. And it's okay to need help." Emma wiped her eyes. "Will you come with me to therapy?" "If you want me to." "I do." Ethan put his arm around her. "Then I'll be there. Every session. Every step. I promise." Emma leaned against him. "Thanks, old man." "Anytime, kid." They sat there for a while. Two people who'd found each other in the wreckage of their lives. And they started to heal. Together. Emma's first therapy session was scheduled for the following Tuesday. She didn't sleep the night before. Ethan heard her moving around upstairs at 3 a.m. Went to check on her. Found her sitting on the floor with Rex whispering things Ethan couldn't hear. He knocked softly. Can't sleep. Emma looked up. What if they try to take me away? Who? The therapist. What if they decide you can't handle me? What if they say I need to go somewhere else? Ethan sat down beside her. That's not going to happen. You don't know that. Yes, I do. Because I'm not letting anyone take you. Legal guardian means legal guardian. Nobody can take you unless I say so. And I'm not saying so. Emma pulled her knees to her chest. What if I say something wrong? What if they think I'm crazy? You're not crazy. You're grieving. There's a difference. What if I can't talk about it? Then you don't. You talk about whatever you want, or nothing at all. There's no wrong way to do this. Emma leaned against him. Will you really come with me? Every single time. Promise? Promise. Rex put his head on Emma's lap, like he understood, like he was promising too. Emma closed her eyes. Okay, I'll try. That's all anyone can ask. Dr. Sarah Chen's office didn't look like Emma expected. No white walls, no clinical furniture, just comfortable chairs, bookshelves, and a box of tissues that didn't scream, "You're going to cry here." Dr. Chen was younger than Ethan expected, mid-30s, kind eyes. She shook Emma's hand first, then Ethan's. Emma, I'm Dr. Chen. You can call me Sarah if that's easier. This is your space. We talk about what you want when you want, and everything you say stays between us unless you're in danger. Fair. Emma nodded. Your dad can stay if you'd like, or he can wait outside. Your choice. Emma looked at Ethan. Stay. Ethan sat in the chair by the window. Dr. Chen sat across from Emma. So, tell me about your dogs. Emma blinked. My dogs? Yeah, I heard you have 5 German shepherds. That's pretty impressive for someone your age. Emma's shoulders relaxed slightly. They were my dad's. He trained them. What was your dad like? Emma was quiet for a moment. Strong, brave. He never backed down from anything, even when he should have. Is that why you don't back down? I guess. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Emma thought about it. I don't know. My dad said being strong means standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. But sometimes standing up gets you hurt. Like your dad. Emma's voice cracked. Yeah, like my dad. Dr. Chen leaned forward. Emma, I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to listen, to help you figure out how to carry what you're carrying without it crushing you. Because right now, it looks like you're carrying a lot. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to stop being angry. Who are you angry at? Everyone. The people who tried to kill the dogs. The kid at school who said my dad was a coward. My dad for dying. Myself for not being able to save him. You were 4 when your dad died. Almost 5. Still, you were a child. There's nothing you could have done. I should have done something. Like what? Emma's voice broke. I don't know. But something. Anything. Dr. Chen handed her the tissue box. Emma, grief isn't logical. It doesn't follow rules. And it definitely doesn't care that you were too young to save your dad. But here's what I know: your dad didn't die because you weren't strong enough. He died because he was protecting people. That's what heroes do. And you're honoring him by protecting the things he loved. His dogs. His memory. Yourself. Emma wiped her eyes. It doesn't feel like enough. It never does. But it is. You're 7 years old and you've survived more than most adults could handle. That's not nothing. That's everything. Emma looked at Ethan. He nodded. She looked back at Dr. Chen. "Can I come back next week?" Emma asked. "Absolutely. Same time?" "Yeah." They left the office. Emma didn't say anything until they got to the car. "That wasn't as bad as I thought," she said. Ethan smiled. "Told you. Don't be smug." Too late. Emma climbed into the back seat with the dogs. "Can we get ice cream?" "It's 9:30 in the morning." So ice cream is for after lunch. I thought you were the cool dad now." Ethan laughed. "I'm the guardian, not the cool dad." Same thing. Not even close. But he drove to the ice cream shop anyway, because Emma smiled when she ordered chocolate chip, and that smile was worth breaking every rule. 2 weeks passed. Emma went to therapy, stopped getting into fights at school, started opening up. Ethan thought things were finally stabilizing. Then Mills showed up with bad news. "Cruz made bail," Mills said. Ethan's blood ran cold. "How?" "Expensive lawyers, technicalities. The judge set bail at $2 million. Cruz paid it in cash." "Where is he now?" "We don't know. He's supposed to wear an ankle monitor, but it went offline this morning." "You're telling me a man who tried to kidnap Emma is on the loose and you have no idea where he is?" Mills's jaw tightened. "We're looking. But Ethan, you need to be careful. Cruz has everything to lose. His business is destroyed. His reputation is shot. The only way he salvages anything is by delivering those dogs to his clients, and he's desperate enough to try." Ethan's mind raced. What about witness protection? For a dog custody case, they'll never approve it. Then what do I do? What you've been doing. Stay alert. Keep Emma close, and trust those dogs to do their job. Mills left. Ethan sat down, put his head in his hands. Emma walked in. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "You're lying. Again. What happened?" Ethan looked at her. Decided she deserved the truth. "Cruz is out of jail. His ankle monitor's offline. We don't know where he is." Emma's face went pale. "He's coming for the dogs." "We don't know that." "Yes, we do. He's not the kind of person who gives up." "Neither are we." Emma looked at the dogs, at Rex. "What do? We prepare. We stay smart. And we don't panic." "I'm not panicking. I'm planning." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Planning what?" "How to stop him if he comes back." Emma. "No. I'm not going to sit here and wait for him to hurt my family. My dad taught me to be proactive, so that's what I'm doing." Ethan studied her, saw Daniel Carter in every line of her face. "What did you have in mind?" Emma pulled out a notebook. "Cruz is predictable. He'll come at night. He'll bring backup. He'll try to neutralize the dogs first, probably tranquilizers. So we need to make the house harder to breach. Better locks, reinforced windows, and we need an escape plan." "Where did you learn this?" "My dad's notebooks. He kept tactical journals. I've been reading them." Ethan stared at the notebook, filled with diagrams, exit routes, contingency plans. "You're 7 years old," he said quietly. "And you're 60-something. Age doesn't matter. Strategy does." Ethan wanted to argue, wanted to tell her she shouldn't have to think like this, but she was right. "Okay," he said. "Let's plan." They spent the next 3 days fortifying the house. Ethan installed security bars on the windows, reinforced the doors, set up motion-activated lights. Emma worked with the dogs, ran drills, practiced commands. Margaret brought over supplies and worry. "This is insane," she said. "That child shouldn't be living like she's in a war zone." "I know," Ethan said. "But until Cruz is caught, this is the safest option." "What if he doesn't come? What if you're preparing for a threat that never materializes?" "Then I wasted time and money, but Emma stays safe. That's all that matters." Margaret looked at Emma in the backyard, training the dogs, 7 years old and moving like a soldier. She's going to need more than therapy to recover from this, Margaret said. I know, but first she needs to survive it. Margaret left. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He walked downstairs, found Emma sitting at the kitchen table, reading her father's journals. Can't sleep either, Ethan asked. Nope. He sat down. What are you reading? My dad's notes about Rex. He wrote that Rex was the smartest dog he'd ever worked with, but also the most dangerous. Because Rex doesn't just follow commands, he makes decisions, and sometimes those decisions are lethal. Does that scare you? Emma closed the journal. No. It makes me feel safe. Because Rex loved my dad, and now he loves me, and he won't let anyone hurt me. What if Cruz comes with more men, more weapons? Then Rex will do what he was trained to do, protect at all costs. Ethan leaned back. Your dad would be so proud of you. You keep saying that. Because it's true. Emma looked at him. Do you think he's watching wherever he is? I don't know, but I hope so. Me too, because I want him to see that I didn't give up, that I kept his promise. You did more than keep his promise. You honored his legacy. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I just want him back. I know. I'd give up everything, the dogs, this house, everything, just to have him back for one more day. Ethan's throat tightened. I know that feeling. I felt the same way about my dad. Does it ever stop hurting? No, but it gets quieter, and eventually you remember the good times more than the bad. Emma wiped her eyes. I hope you're right. I am, I promise. They sat in silence. Then the motion sensor went off. Ethan was on his feet immediately. Checked the camera feed. 3 men, moving toward the house, fast, professional. Emma, upstairs, now. Emma grabbed her backpack. What about the dogs? They stay with you. Lock the door. Don't come out until I say. Ethan, go. Emma ran. The dogs followed. Ethan grabbed his phone, called Mills. Cruz's men are here. 3 of them. Maybe more. I need backup now. On the way, 5 minutes. Make it 3. Ethan hung up, grabbed the baseball bat from the closet. The front door exploded inward. 2 men rushed in. Tactical gear, tranquilizer guns, moving like they'd done this before. Ethan swung the bat, connected with the first man's shoulder. The man grunted, dropped his weapon, swung back. His fist caught Ethan in the ribs. Ethan gasped, stumbled. The second man moved past him, headed for the stairs. Rex! Emma's voice from upstairs. Rex came down the stairs like a missile, hit the second man chest high. They both went down hard. The man screamed, tried to push Rex off. Rex's jaws clamped down on his arm. The first man recovered, punched Ethan again. Ethan's vision blurred. He swung the bat blindly, missed. Then Athena was there, grabbed the man's leg, pulled him down. Ethan scrambled up, kicked the man's tranquilizer gun away. Where's Cruz? The man spat blood. Go to hell. Apollo and Maverick came down the stairs, flanked the men, waiting for a command. Last chance, Ethan said. Where is he? The man smiled. Right behind you. Ethan turned. Cruz stood in the doorway, holding a real gun this time, not a tranquilizer, a 9mm. Step away from my men, Cruz said. Ethan didn't move. You're not getting the dogs. I'm not asking. Then shoot me, because I'm not moving. Cruz aimed the gun at Ethan's chest. You're willing to die for 5 dogs. I'm willing to die for the little girl upstairs who loves them. Cruz's finger moved toward the trigger. Emma's voice rang out. Touch him, and Rex kills your men. Cruz looked up. Emma stood at the top of the stairs, Rex beside her, the other dogs flanking Cruz's men on the ground. One word from me, Emma said, and your men bleed out before the ambulance arrives, so lower the gun. Cruz stared at her. You're bluffing. Try me. They locked eyes. 7-year-old girl versus hardened criminal. Emma didn't blink. Cruz lowered the gun. This isn't over. Yes, it is, Mills said from the doorway. Gun drawn. 6 officers behind him. Drop the weapon. Now. Cruz hesitated. Now, Mills repeated. Cruz dropped the gun, raised his hands. The officers swarmed in, cuffed Cruz, cuffed his men. Mills looked at Ethan. You okay? Ethan nodded. Emma. I'm fine, she called down. Mills walked Cruz outside. Vincent Cruz, you're under arrest for breaking bail, armed assault, and attempted murder. This time, you're not getting out. Cruz looked back at Emma. You just made a very powerful enemy, little girl. Emma walked down the stairs, stood in front of him. My dad made enemies every day, and he never lost sleep over it. Neither will I. Cruz smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. You're just like him. That's going to get you killed. Maybe, but at least I'll die standing up for what's right. You'll die in prison, forgotten. That's worse. Mills shoved Cruz toward the door. Let's go. They left. Emma collapsed onto the couch, started shaking. Ethan sat beside her. You okay? No, but I will be. That was incredibly brave and incredibly stupid. I learned from the best. Ethan laughed. Fair point. Emma leaned against him. Is it really over? Yeah, it's really over. Promise. Promise. The dogs gathered around them, a circle of protection, a family forged in fire. Emma closed her eyes. Can we have pancakes for dinner? After the day we just had, we can have whatever you want. Ice cream. Push your luck, kid. Emma smiled. Worth a shot. 3 months later, life looked different. Emma was thriving in school, making friends, laughing more. The nightmares were getting less frequent. Ethan had officially adopted her, changed her last name to Carter Cole, hung the adoption papers on the fridge like a proud parent. The dogs had settled into suburban life, still protective, still loyal, but calmer, happier. Margaret visited twice a week, brought cookies and unsolicited advice, became the grandmother Emma never had. And Dr. Chen kept seeing Emma every Tuesday, helping her process, helping her heal. But one afternoon, Emma came home from therapy with a question. Sarah asked me something today, Emma said. Ethan looked up from his laptop. What? She asked if I've forgiven my dad yet. For dying. Yeah. Ethan closed the laptop. Have you? Emma sat down. I don't know. Part of me is still so angry at him. For leaving. For dying. For not being here. But another part of me understands. He was doing his job, saving people, being a hero, and I can't be mad at him for that. You can be both, angry and proud. It's okay. How do you forgive someone who's not here to apologize? Ethan thought about his own father, about 30 years of unresolved anger. You forgive them by understanding they did the best they could, even if their best wasn't enough. Emma nodded slowly. Sarah said forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. She's right. You'll never forget your dad. But you can let go of the anger. Make room for the good memories. What if I'm not ready? Then you're not ready. Forgiveness isn't a race, it's a process, and you get to take as long as you need. Emma looked at the framed photo on the mantel. Daniel Carter in his uniform, smiling, Rex by his side. I think I'm getting there, she said quietly. Slowly, but I'm getting there. Ethan put his arm around her. That's all anyone can do. They sat together, 2 people learning how to let go of the past while honoring it, and outside, the 5 dogs lay in the yard, peaceful, safe, home. That night, Emma asked Ethan to read her father's journals with her. They sat on her bed, Rex at their feet, the journal open between them. "This is the last entry," Emma said, "from the day before he died." Ethan read it aloud. "Emma asked me today why I became a cop. I told her it's because I wanted to help people. But the truth is bigger than that. I became a cop because I believe some things are worth fighting for, worth dying for. Family, justice, the people who can't fight for themselves. And if something happens to me if I don't come home, I want Emma to know that every choice I made, loving her. And I want her to be strong, braver than me, kinder than me, better than me, because she already is." Ethan's voice broke on the last sentence. Emma wiped her eyes. He knew. Knew what? That he might not come home, and he went anyway. Because that's what heroes do. Emma closed the journal. "I don't want to be a hero. I just want to be okay." "You will be. You already are." Emma looked at him. "Thank you. For everything. For saving me. For staying. For being here." Ethan's throat tightened. "You saved me too, kid. More than you know." Emma smiled. "I'm almost 8 now. Stop calling me kid." "Never." "Fine. Then you're officially old man forever." "Deal." Emma climbed under the covers. Rex jumped onto the bed, curled up beside her. "Good night, old man," Emma said. "Good night, kid." Ethan turned off the light, closed the door. And for the first time in 2 years, Emma Carter fell asleep without nightmares. Because she wasn't alone anymore. She had a family, a home, a future. And she had 5 dogs who would protect her until their last breath. Just like her father would have wanted. 6 months passed like a slow exhale after years of holding your breath. Emma turned 8 in March. Ethan threw her a party. Invited her entire class. Margaret baked a cake shaped like a German shepherd. The dogs wore party hats and tolerated it with dignity. Emma blew out the candles and made a wish she wouldn't tell anyone. But Ethan knew what it was, because he'd made the same wish on his 10th birthday, 30 years ago, after his own father died. He wished for one more day, one more conversation, one more chance to say goodbye. Some wishes never come true, but you make them anyway. Later that night, after the guests left and the cake was mostly gone, Emma found Ethan cleaning up in the kitchen. "Today was good," she said. Yeah, I didn't think it would be, but it was." Ethan smiled. "Good." Emma picked at a piece of leftover frosting. "My dad used to make my birthdays huge, like circus huge, clowns and ponies and the works." "Want me to hire a clown for next year?" "God, no. Those things are terrifying." Ethan laughed. "Fair point." Emma looked at him. "But this was better, smaller, real. I think my dad would have liked it." "I think so too." Emma hugged him, quick, tight, then pulled away before it got too emotional. "Thanks for not giving up on me." "Never crossed my mind." "Liar. I was a nightmare for the first few months." "You were grieving. There's a difference." Emma smiled. "You always say that." "Because it's always true." They finished cleaning in comfortable silence. Then Emma's phone buzzed. She looked at it. Her face changed. "What's wrong?" Ethan asked. Emma showed him the screen. A message from an unknown number. "Your father's legacy isn't finished. Neither is mine. We need to talk. Vincent Cruz." Ethan's blood went cold. He's supposed to be in prison. Apparently he has a phone. Ethan grabbed his own phone. Called Mills. "Cruz is contacting Emma." Mills swore. "How?" "Text message from an unknown number." "Forward it to me. I'll trace it. But Ethan, he's locked up tight. 23-hour isolation. No phone privileges. Someone's helping him." "Who?" "I don't know. But I'll find out." Ethan hung up. Looked at Emma. "Block the number. Don't respond." "What if he keeps messaging?" "Then we keep blocking. And we let Mills handle it. Emma nodded, but her hands were shaking. Rex walked over, put his head in her lap, like he knew. I thought it was over, Emma whispered. It is. Cruz is just trying to scare you. It's working. Ethan crouched down. Listen to me. Cruz has nothing. No freedom, no power, no future. All he has left is words, and words can't hurt you unless you let them. Emma looked at him. My dad used to say that actions speak louder than words. He was right. So what action do we take? We keep living. We keep moving forward. We don't let him steal one more second of your life. Emma took a breath. Okay. But if he keeps messaging, he won't. Mills will shut it down. But Cruz did keep messaging. 3 more texts over the next week, each one more threatening than the last. Your dog should have died 2 years ago. I'll finish what should have been done. You can't hide forever. Neither can they. Tell your guardian he made a mistake protecting you. It's going to cost him everything. Mills traced the messages. They were coming from a burner phone, smuggled into the prison, by someone on the inside. We're investigating, Mills said. But whoever's helping Cruz is good. No trace, no leads. Ethan slammed his hand on the table. So what do we do? Just wait for him to make a move. What else can we do? He's in prison. He can't physically hurt you. The messages are just psychological warfare. And if someone on the outside is working for him? Mills paused. Then we prepare. Again. Emma walked into the room. I have an idea. Both men looked at her. What if we go public? Emma said. What if we tell everyone what Cruz is doing, the threats, the harassment, everything? Make it impossible for him to operate without everyone watching. Ethan shook his head. That puts a target on you. The target's already there. At least this way we control the narrative. Mills considered it. She's not wrong. Cruz operates in shadows. Drag him into the light and his power evaporates. Ethan looked at Emma. Are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back. Your life becomes public. Again. It was already public when I saved the dogs. This is just round 2. And this time, I'm ready. Ethan studied her, saw steel in her eyes, saw Daniel Carter looking back at him. Okay, he said. Let's do it. The interview aired 3 days later. Local news, national pickup. Emma sat next to Ethan, calm, composed, 8 years old and talking like someone who'd lived 3 lifetimes. The reporter asked about the messages. Emma showed them on camera, read them aloud, didn't flinch. Vincent Cruz tried to steal my father's dogs. He failed. He tried to hurt my family. He failed. And now he's trying to scare me from a prison cell. He's going to fail at that too. What do you want people to know? The reporter asked. Emma looked directly at the camera. I want people to know that bullies only win if you let them. My dad taught me that. He said fear is a choice, and I choose not to be afraid. Not of Cruz, not of anyone. My dogs are safe, my family is safe. And nothing he says or does will change that. The reporter smiled. You're very brave. I'm not brave. I'm just done being scared. The interview ended. Within hours it went viral again. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. Support poured in from around the world. But so did something else. A message from Cruz's lawyer, threatening to sue for defamation, harassment, emotional distress. Ethan showed it to Emma. This is what happens when you poke a bear. Let him sue. I told the truth. Truth isn't defamation. No, but it's expensive to defend. Emma crossed her arms. So what? We let him win because we're scared of lawyers. No, we let the lawyers fight while we stay safe. But staying safe got harder. Because 2 days after the interview, someone tried to break into the house again. Ethan woke up to the dogs barking. Not their normal bark. Their threat bark. The one that meant danger. He grabbed his phone, Checked the cameras. A figure in the backyard, moving toward the fence, dressed in black, face covered. Ethan called 911, then Mills. Then he grabbed the baseball bat and went downstairs. Emma was already there, standing at the window, watching. "Get away from the window," Ethan said. "He's not trying to break in, he's watching." "Emma, look." Ethan looked. The figure wasn't moving toward the house. Just standing there, staring, like he wanted them to know he was there. Then he raised his hand, pointed at Emma, made a gun gesture, pulled the trigger, and walked away. The police arrived 10 minutes later, searched the yard, found nothing. No footprints, no evidence. Just a message spray-painted on the fence. Tick-tock. Mills stood in the backyard, staring at it. "This is escalating. You think?" Ethan's voice was sharp. "I'm putting a unit outside your house, 24/7, until we catch whoever's doing this." "That's not enough. It's all I can do without more evidence." Emma walked outside, looked at the graffiti. "He's playing with us." Mills frowned. Whoever's working for Cruz. They're not trying to hurt us yet. They're trying to break us, make us scared, make us run." "Are you scared?" Mills asked. Emma turned to face him, terrified. "But I'm not running. My dad didn't run. Neither will I." Mills nodded. "Your dad would be proud." "I know. That's why I can't let him down." The next week was hell. More messages, more threats, more surveillance. Emma stopped sleeping. Ethan caught her at 2 a.m., sitting by the window with Rex, watching, waiting. "You need to sleep," Ethan said. "Can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see that guy, pointing at me, like I'm already dead." Ethan sat beside her. "You're not dead. You're here, and you're safe." "Safe." "There's a guy watching our house. Cruz is threatening us from prison, and the police can't do anything about it. How is that safe? Because you're not alone. You have me, the dogs, Margaret, Mills, an entire community watching out for you." Emma's voice cracked. "What if it's not enough? What if they get through anyway?" "Then we fight, like we always do." "I'm tired of fighting." "I know. But sometimes fighting is the only way to peace." Emma leaned against him. "My dad used to say that too." "Smart man." "Yeah, he was." They sat in silence. Then Emma said, "What if we end this? Not by waiting, not by defending, but by attacking." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" "I mean we go after Cruz, find out who's helping him, cut off his resources, make it so he can't threaten us anymore." "Emma, we're not vigilantes." "No, we're survivors, and survivors do what they have to." "What are you suggesting?" Emma pulled out her father's journal. "My dad kept notes on everyone he worked with, including Cruz. Names, connections, weaknesses, everything. What if we use that find Cruz's helper, expose them, end this for good?" Ethan stared at the journal. "That's dangerous." "So is waiting for them to make the first move. If we go after them and fail, we're exposed, vulnerable. If we do nothing, we're already vulnerable." Ethan thought about it, about Emma's safety, about Daniel Carter's notes, about ending this nightmare once and for all. "Okay," he said, "but we do it smart. We loop in Mills. We don't take unnecessary risks." Emma nodded. "Deal." They started digging the next day. Daniel's journal had 30 names. People he'd worked with, people he'd trusted, people who'd betrayed him. One name stood out. Jason Garrett, former K-9 officer. Worked with Daniel for 5 years. Left the force 6 months before Daniel died. Reason listed personal. "I remember this guy," Emma said. "He used to come to our house, Barbecues and stuff. He was nice. What happened? He and my dad had a fight. I don't know what about. But after that he stopped coming around. Ethan pulled up Jason Garrett's current information. Still lived in the area. Ran a private security company. Specialized in personal protection. Just like Cruz. Mills needs to see this, Ethan said. They showed Mills the next day. He ran Jason's financials, found deposits from an offshore account, traced them back to a shell company, owned by Vincent Cruz. Son of a bitch, Mills muttered. Jason's on Cruz's payroll. How long? Ethan asked. At least 2 years, since before Daniel died. Emma's face went white. You think Jason had something to do with my dad's death? Mills hesitated. I don't know, but I'm going to find out. He brought Jason in for questioning. Jason sat in the interrogation room, calm, confident, like he had nothing to hide. Mills slid the financial records across the table. Want to explain these? Jason glanced at them. Consulting fees. Perfectly legal. Consulting for Vincent Cruz, a man currently in prison for attempting to kidnap a child and steal police K-9 units. I didn't know what he was planning. Bullshit. You've been feeding him information for 2 years. About the dogs. About Emma. About everything. Jason leaned back. Prove it. Mills opened a folder, showed him text messages, phone records, surveillance footage of Jason at Ethan's house, spray painting the fence. Still want to deny it? Mills asked. Jason's jaw tightened. I want a lawyer. You're going to need one, because we're charging you with conspiracy, harassment, stalking, and attempted extortion. And if I find out you had anything to do with Daniel Carter's death, I'm adding murder. Jason's face changed. Fear flickered in his eyes. I didn't kill Daniel. Then what did you do? Jason was quiet for a long moment. I told Cruz about the raid. The one Daniel died in. Cruz wanted to know when it was happening. Said he had business to protect. I thought he just wanted to avoid trouble. I didn't know people would die. Mills leaned forward. You got Daniel Carter killed. It wasn't supposed to go down like that. It was supposed to be clean, quick, nobody hurt. But it wasn't. And Daniel died. And you walked away with blood money. Jason's hands shook. I didn't mean for it to happen. But it did. And now you're going to pay for it. Mills walked out, signaled for the officers to book Jason. Emma was waiting in the hallway. Did he do it? Did he get my dad killed? Mills knelt down. Yeah, he did. Emma's face crumpled. Why? Money, greed, fear. The same reasons people always betray each other. Emma's voice broke. My dad trusted him. I know. And he got him killed. Yeah. Emma wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now Jason goes to prison. And Cruz loses his last ally. And you get to go home and be safe. Emma nodded. Okay. But she didn't look okay. She looked shattered. That night, Emma sat in her room, staring at her father's photo. The dogs surrounded her, silent guardians in the dark. Ethan knocked. Can I come in? Emma nodded. He sat on the floor beside her. I know today was hard. I thought I knew who killed my dad. I thought it was just bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time. But it wasn't. Someone betrayed him. Someone he trusted. And now that person gets to be alive while my dad's dead. How is that fair? It's not. Then why does it keep happening? Why do bad people get to win? They don't. Not always. Jason's going to prison. Cruz is already there. They're paying for what they did. But my dad's still dead, and nothing they do will bring him back. Ethan's throat tightened. No, it won't. But your dad's legacy lives on. In you. In these dogs. in everyone he saved. That's worth something. Emma looked at him. Is it enough? I don't know, but it's what we have. Emma leaned against him. I miss him so much. I know, and I'm so angry. At Jason, at Cruz, at everyone who took him away from me. That's okay. Be angry. Feel it. But don't let it consume you. Because that's how they win. By turning you into something you're not. Emma was quiet for a long time. What if I can't let it go? Then you work through it. In therapy. With me. With the dogs. However long it takes. Because you deserve peace. And your dad would want that for you. Emma nodded slowly. Okay. I'll try. That's all I'm asking. They sat together. Two broken people learning how to heal. Rex walked over. Put his head in Emma's lap. Like he understood. Like he was saying goodbye to Daniel, too. Emma stroked his fur. Thank you for protecting me, Rex. For protecting all of us. Rex's tail wagged once. Slowly. Like a promise. 3 months later, the trial was over. Jason Garrett was sentenced to 20 years. Vincent Cruz got life without parole. Their assets were seized, their businesses destroyed. Emma testified at both trials, stood in front of judges and juries and told her story. 8 years old and speaking truth to power. The judges called her brave. The juries called her inspiring. The media called her a hero. But Emma didn't feel like a hero. She felt tired, relieved, ready to move on. The day after Cruz's sentencing, Emma asked Ethan if they could visit her father's grave. They drove to the cemetery, brought flowers, sat beside the headstone. Hi, Dad, Emma said quietly. It's been a while. Sorry about that. Things have been crazy. But they're better now. Cruz is gone. Jason's gone. The dogs are safe. And I'm okay. I mean, I'm getting there. Therapy helps. Ethan helps. The dogs help. You'd like Ethan. He's grumpy and old and terrible at cooking. But he stayed. When everyone else left, he stayed. And he's teaching me how to be strong without being scared all the time. Like you did. Her voice broke. I miss you so much. Every single day. And I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I know I was just a kid. But I still feel like I should have done something. Sarah says that's survivor's guilt, that it's normal. But it doesn't feel normal. It feels like a weight I'll carry forever. She wiped her eyes. But I'm trying. I'm trying to forgive myself. And you. For leaving. For dying. For not being here. Because I know you didn't want to go. I know you fought. I know you loved me more than anything. And I know you'd be proud of me. At least I hope you would. She placed the flowers on the grave. I'm going to be okay, Dad. I promise. The dogs are going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Because you taught me how. You taught me to be strong, to fight, to protect the people I love, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life honoring that. Honoring you. She kissed her fingers, pressed them to the headstone. I love you, Dad. Always. Ethan put his hand on her shoulder. You ready? Emma nodded. Yeah, I'm ready. They walked back to the car. The dogs waited patiently, tails wagging, eyes bright. Emma climbed into the back seat. Rex jumped in beside her. The others followed. Ethan started the car. Where to? Emma smiled. Home. 5 years later, Emma turned 13. She'd grown taller, stronger, wiser. Still had her father's eyes, still had his determination. But she also had something else, peace. She trained the dogs every day, not just for protection, but for purpose. She started a program, teaching kids how to work with rescue animals, how to heal through connection. She called it Carter's Legacy. Ethan helped run it. So did Margaret, and Mills, and dozens of volunteers who'd heard Emma's story and wanted to be part of something bigger. The program grew, expanded to other cities, other states, helped thousands of kids find healing through animals. Emma gave a TED Talk at 15, published a book at 16, started a foundation at 17. But she never forgot where she came from. Never forgot the little girl who hid 5 dogs in a condemned house because she refused to let her father's legacy die. On her 18th birthday, Emma stood in front of a crowd, accepting an award for her work. The 5 dogs sat beside her, older now, gray around the muzzles, but still loyal, still protective. "People ask me all the time how I did it," Emma said. "How I survived, how I kept going. And the truth is, I didn't do it alone. I had help, from a grumpy old journalist who became my dad, from 5 dogs who became my family, from a community that refused to give up on me, and from my father who taught me that heroes aren't born. They're forged, in fire, in pain, in the refusal to quit even when quitting seems like the only option." She looked at Ethan in the audience. He was crying, proud, overwhelmed. "My dad died protecting people, and I'm going to spend my life doing the same, not with a gun or a badge, but with compassion, with action, with the belief that every life matters, human or animal, and that protecting the vulnerable isn't just a job, it's a calling." The crowd stood, applauded, cheered. Emma smiled, bent down, hugged Rex, who was 15 now, gray, tired, but still the leader, still the protector. "Thank you," she whispered to him, "for everything." Rex licked her face, once, gentle, like he understood. After the ceremony, Ethan found Emma outside, sitting on a bench with the dogs. "You did good in there," he said. "Thanks, old man." "I'm not old. I'm distinguished." "You're 73. That's old." Ethan laughed. "Fair point." Emma looked at him. "Thank you. For everything. For saving me. For staying. For being the dad I needed when I lost the one I had." Ethan's throat tightened. "You saved me too, kid. More than you'll ever know." "I'm 18. Stop calling me kid." "Never." Emma smiled, leaned against him. "Deal." They sat together, watching the dogs, watching the people, watching a world that had tried to break them and failed. Because some stories don't have happy endings. Some stories have real endings, where people survive, where they grow, where they take the worst thing that ever happened to them and turn it into something beautiful. Emma Carter did that, with 5 dogs, with a grumpy old journalist, with a refusal to let the darkness win. Her father would have been proud, and somewhere in whatever comes after he was smiling, because his little girl had kept her promise. She'd protected his dogs, his legacy, his love. And she'd done it not by being fearless, but by being afraid and doing it anyway, because that's what heroes do. They stand up when standing up is hard. They fight when fighting seems impossible. They protect the ones they love, even when it costs them everything. Emma Carter was a hero, not because she wanted to be, but because she had to be. And in being one, she saved more than just 5 dogs. She saved herself. She saved Ethan. She saved everyone who heard her story and thought maybe, just maybe, they could survive their own darkness too. That's the power of one little girl who refused to quit, who walked 5 dogs every morning until the world noticed, until the world cared, until the world changed. And in the end, that's what heroes do. They change the world. One walk, one dog, one choice at a time. Emma Carter proved that heroes don't always wear badges. Sometimes they wear pink coats and carry leashes, and their courage echoes louder than any gunshot ever could.